This is the ideal house.
You can't lose on a house like this. There's no possible way.
The more construction, the more drama. That's for TV. This is for making money in real life. So by us just putting a little 15 grand into it, we get to make. One thing about the flipping and wholesaling business, you always have to have your flipping tools on you at all times. All right.
She's picking all this up, Justin.
She is.
Yep, we don't have to pick it up.
It's a part of the agreement.
Yep.
And how did we lock her into making sure she picks everything up?
Well, she won't have her money at the closing table before we close, unless all this is picked up. Before you close, you want to come out here. We're going to inspect it the day before we close to make sure she
did everything that we agreed
That's
to
right.
in the agreement. So fascia, soffit looks good, roof looks good. Checking that tree out doesn't look all that great, but won't be a problem for us. We'll be in and out of here. What's really interesting about doing these is that it's kind of like finding a shipwreck in a way. You see how somebody was living their life before they were in a situation where they wanted to sell. There's a lot of stories that can be told just by walking through the house and kind of see how things were going. I've flipped houses before, seen video game rooms and all these other things. It's just kind of telling of the situation. Not a whole lot of damage. This one's really clean. Chris, they cut the water off already?
Is it showing it's off?
Well, it's not coming on. Yeah, it looks like the water might be off. So as you can tell, I mean, very minimal things. Look like we'll have a little sheetrock action right there. We're gonna do something with this floor, Chris?
Yep, the quote that we got was to repaint everything, fix all the holes in the wall, redo this floor, and then put a backsplash.
Right, so let's talk about how we're gonna handle that with the contractor. Of course, they'll have a schedule of values on their scope of work that will pay them in installments based off of their completion.
Correct, we don't give them the money up front.
No, and we buy the materials, right?
We buy the materials, because if you let them go buy the materials, they're gonna charge you extra on the materials. Better get a Home Depot account, order it, let them pick it up, and we'll pay them in phases.
Are you making sure these guys have the insurance?
Yes.
Just in case there's a mistake. So look, you got this situation right here, for example. Come check this out. This is not a safe scenario. You need your subs and your contractors to have insurance. So if they make a mistake, it's their insurance eating it, not you. So making sure that not only they have insurance at the start of the job, but as you're paying them along the project, that they have updated insurance. Because of what happens in an insurance audit, you have someone that gives you insurance once and they start the project, and then in month 2, they let it lapse. So they got the insurance just to get the job. Then whatever you pay them after that, the insurance audit will catch it and then force you to pay the insurance for them and then put you in the highest class code of the insurance of the things that they do. So very important to manage contractor insurance.
Another thing, guys, I would tell you, especially if you're getting started, I don't typically do it anymore because I know what I'm looking at, but it doesn't hurt for you to get a $350 to $500 inspection, a professional inspection done, because they'll find stuff that you guys that are just getting started are not gonna be able to see, and you can use that to drive down the price even more. They'll possibly catch stuff that you just ain't gonna catch.
So one way that you can really know your numbers quick, you take the price plus whatever your construction cost is, or if there's no construction cost, and then just look at Zillow. Zillow runs comps, consolidates them, and gives you a value on the house. Like this house here, if you go to it, you can see it's $273. So we're gonna go in at $269. Well, we bought the house for $155. So we're 15 in. We know about what it's gonna go for based off the comps in the neighborhood. Zillow is an easy, quick tool that you can use for this. You'll know fast. You'll be able to back into your math easy, and then it's a third-grade math problem. From there, it's making the right decisions, following the system, and you really cannot mess this up. The numbers will tell you exactly what you need to know, and you can go in the deal with confidence. So Zillow is a great app for that. Know about where you're gonna be, and that'll allow you to know where you need to be on the deal. The floors are in great shape. You'll look, they're tile, in great condition. Not gonna have to worry about much here. I think there was a little in the back we're gonna fix, but if you look at the space itself, not a lot of holes in the wall. There'll be light repairs, light sheetrock for the painting. That's why we were able to get such a good price. The bones of this house are really, really good. So there's obviously a little bit of work to do in the kitchen with the backsplash. We gotta be safe around the electrical. I'll make a note in there about insurance when we walk through. So in here, we'll be able to pull these out, change the floors real quick, get a knob on that door, simple things, covers, nothing major is here. Everything about the house, from a structural perspective, from an MEP perspective, seem to be good so far.
Guys, this is the ideal flip that you want to be doing. On HGTV, they usually showing you like a to the studs rebuild where you could see the framing and you having to re-sheetrock everything. Listen, that's for the amateurs.
You know the reason I think they do that on those shows is because there's more drama. The more construction, the more drama. That's for TV. This is for making money in real life. You want minimal construction, you want minimal scope of work. Ideally, you wholesale it. But if you're gonna flip, this scenario is perfect. We have perfect structural, perfect MEPs. We come in here, we paint it, we're in, we're out. The cost of money is low and it's fast. All right, so we walked through it. I'm gonna show you guys some of the things that we see as we're walking through a house. We've already looked at the curb appeal, we looked at the roof, and from here, we need to just go through and kind of look at the scope of work, what would be needed for the contractor, and go through those things. We did see a couple things on the exterior that we're gonna fix. When you're looking at a house, this is called a fascia board. It's that front board that goes, and it's kind of the in-between the roof itself and what's called the soffit. This is the soffit. So we're gonna fix this fascia board here because it's the structural issue, it's rotting. We might change out a piece of this soffit or two. These are very minor repairs that need to happen to the house. So we're just gonna fix this fascia, paint back over it, and this thing's gonna be clean, ready to go in a couple weeks. It'll be fast, on the market quick, cost of money's low. Whatever money that we're borrowing or putting in ourselves, it keeps our cost of money down because we have speed. That's why we like wholesales, and that's definitely why we will sometimes make the exception for the quick flip with the painting. And the way I look at it is this: if it's a wholesale deal and you make a quick 10 or 15 or even 20, definitely worth it. You didn't have a construction process. But when you look at something that's got a spread like this, where we bought at 155 and we can sell based off the comps that we found at 269, 270, there's 100,000 plus spread there. So by us just putting a little 15 grand into it, we get to make way more of that spread, and we can do it without the risk because it's not major construction. And that's the only reason we would get a contractor involved. Guys, I want to show y'all something real quick. Check this out. So one thing you want to do is you always want to check the AC unit. It'll give you clues or flat out tell you 2012. That's not very old. It's 12 years old. Some of these things are 20, 30 years old. This one will be good to go here. 2012, it's past when they changed the Freon, which creates a huge issue. That R20, was it R22 Freon?
I think so.
Yeah, so older units call for a Freon that they've discontinued, which makes costs way higher. But again, we're turning this thing around. It's past that date, 2012. We're in good shape on that. The next step we're gonna take is kind of digging into the foundation. We're gonna walk the perimeter of the house, look for any cracking, anything that looks like it could be giving. Again, I can't emphasize enough, it's worth the $300 to $400 to get a professional to inspect the home. When you have it under contract, it's worth your money. You can find out any mishap that you would have before it happens. So I'm a big fan of getting an inspector to look, but it's definitely something that you should look at yourself. As you build rapport with inspectors and use them more and more, you'll get to the point where you're in a relationship where you can just send a picture to somebody that's been doing houses for you. So another good advantage of doing houses in volumes is that you have good relationships with all your vendors. Another thing that'll give it away to you is seeing lines of cracks. Like, I'm not crazy about this. You see this crack? And it's coming up and it's coming here. A lot of times it'll give it away on the inside of the house as well. If you look up in the top corners of a bedroom and you start to see cracks in walls, that'll kind of give you a heads up about the foundation as well. Fascia's good, soffit's good, trim's good, a little bit of honeycombing, but nothing major. So one other thing that we want to talk to you guys about, we're talking about curb appeal when we first put up the house. We talked about the soffit and the fascia already. But if you look at this roof and how you see that there's no fading, there's no streaks from vents or pipes or anything, even on the backside there's not. But let me give you an example what it might look like if it needs a new roof. Look at this roof. See all the streaks and the fades and all the things that are in the shingles. You can tell this roof is substantially newer than this roof. I think this roof is 2 years old? And it's on the things, the checklist that we ask about, but also by investigating it in person, if you can't get that answer, it'll give you these types of answers. And obviously there's a substantial difference between this house, and even this one, as well as you see the streaks and the things. It's about time for this house to get a new roof, whereas we're not dealing with this here. This is the ideal house for a flip. One thing that we're not doing here is painting the house, but I'll tell you, if you look at the house next door, it's painted white. If you stay in line with things that are trending, oftentimes you can help sell the house faster However, if we were to paint this house, I think we'd paint the bricks white. We're not going to. We're going to go with the landscaping and the quick turnaround and the low construction costs. However, if you were to paint the house a color, it's never really a bad idea to paint bricks. Most people like it. It's current. It makes it look like the house is flipped and adds a lot of curb appeal to the house as well. So something to keep in consideration. It's a low cost thing, low management thing, and hard to mess up. Painting the exterior of the house can oftentimes help the sale as well.
Guys, another reason why I like houses like this in middle America is that you can't lose on a house like this. There's no possible way. Me and Justin have created plan A, plan B, and plan C. Plan A is we could possibly wholesale this and make 20, 30 grand. Plan B is it don't need that much work. So Justin and I are actually gonna close on this deal. It only needs 15 grand worth of work, and we're gonna retail this thing for $269. We're all in at 175, probably make about 75, 80 grand after realtor fees. Now, plan C, what happens if the banks lock up? What happens if it doesn't sell? We're good.
Easy.
It don't matter because we can rent this for $2,000 a month, Justin.
All day.
And we're still
All
gonna
day.
be good, and we could sell it at a later date. This is why we don't flip houses over that medium household range.
And that's why you should join the group. We're gonna walk you through, create every step for you, help you make this decision in a way that'll make you profitable every time. I don't think there's another group out there that's walking you through deals like this. You cannot fail. All you have to do is come inside, do the work, and you will have more support than you ever could have asked for, and you'll have the insurance of knowing you're making the right decision on every project, every time, and make money for sure. See you guys inside.